Welcome back, listeners, and welcome to The Starting Grid, a podcast where we discuss Formula One racing and the news and media related to it. I'm your host, Malik, and with me, as always, is...
It's Calvin. Welcome.
We are back after a long hiatus.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened.
Two weeks?
I believe so.
Since the Hungarian Grand Prix, which we're about to review 2 weeks late.
A couple of life-changing 2 weeks.
It was a life-changing 2 weeks for myself. It was just a fun 2 weeks for Calvin.
Yeah. I went on vacation. Malik had a baby.
Exactly. Dropping that bombshell. Yes, so my baby came, so sorry. Well, sorry, not sorry, but that's what kind of kept me away from the computer, from the podcast for about a week. And Calvin was on vacation, doing some camping, enjoying his life, living his best life.
Yep, and the woods.
Not worrying about you fellas.
Yeah, with no cell service.
Yeah. So, nevertheless, we are back. Sorry about the dog barking in the background.
And they probably can't hear it.
Let's hope that there's not a baby crying in the background before this podcast is ended. So, why don't we jump straight into things? Let's start off with some news. For the past 2 weeks, the biggest news, I'll let you drop that one at the end of the things, but there's huge news that just got announced 2 days ago. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Calvin, what you got for news?
I just got a couple things. Nothing's really other than, of course, that bombshell that got dropped earlier has been jumping off the page. But Gunther Steiner?
Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther. Yeah, he's saying that drivers are still interested in driving for Haas, even though they are a small team. He believes that they're very good, and people know that.
Of course, people are still interested in driving for a Formula One team.
Of course, I know. I was like, everyone's interested.
Yeah, even if it's for Williams, you're gonna have drivers interested to drive for the team.
And then this, whoever wrote this article was rumored that maybe Ocon or Hulkenberg, but
to go to Haas.
But I think Ocon's pretty unlikely. I mean, he's under contract with Mercedes.
Yeah, can't go to Ferrari.
I can see Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg's kind of languished in Formula One. Just he's done all right, never really that good, and he's been racing for a while.
If I was Hulkenberg, I would say Renault. I feel like Renault's on the up and up, and Haas is the.
Renault has nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, well, Renault, and we hope they're going up. I mean, with Ricciardo going there and with the talks from Renault, obviously they've had a shaky season so far, less shaky than the Haas, but they're pushing for 2020 for those regulation changes. I feel like they've gotten closer and closer to being able to fight up in the top three. So if I was him, I mean, personally, it feels like Renault is closer than Haas is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Haas, Renault we know is improving.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Haas we don't know if they're improving or decreasing yet. They're kind of in this, every other race, they're good and then they're bad and they're good and they're bad. And once that settles out, which way is that curve going to go? Is it going to be curving, or that trend, which is it going to be trending slower or downward, or is it going to be trending up? And I feel like, to me, it feels like Renault is in a better position than Haas.
Yeah. I kind of get what you're saying. I kind of think Haas is, I don't know. They're either really good at qualifying or really good at race pace.
Or really bad at both.
Yeah.
Or really good at both.
But I feel like their problem is their drivers. I mean, their drivers have been battling, and this for at least 2 years now, back and forth. And they need to control that the fight is not with each other. It's on the grid. So
tell that to Kvyat and Albon after the Hungarian GP.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they had a good fight.
Yeah. What else you got?
Moving on to another little tidbit. Ferrari, there's rumors that they're going to have an extra 20 horsepowers coming out of the summer break.
Oh,
so
man.
Going in the Spa and Monaco.
So they're going from fastest car to even faster car?
Yeah, which I don't know how that's possible. I mean, 20 horsepower is huge in Formula One. Even Toto Wolff is expecting them to be doing really well at Spa and Monaco.
And Spa's a power track. I mean, there's some long straights there.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And he's expecting them to do well. I think he might be hedging a little bit, like setting expectations low for Mercedes if they don't perform very well at those two tracks. I mean, I guess it also depends on the weather, how hot it is. Their car doesn't do very well in the heat. So he might just be hedging his bets there a little bit. But I mean, I guess it's also pretty hard for someone else to comment on another team.
Right. So. Right. Well, Mercedes always talks a small game, and then
they do, and then they show up. Yeah.
Unlike Ferrari, they talk a big game, and then they don't show up,
and they completely blow it.
Yeah.
Should we get in the? You want to talk about?
Go for it.
Well,
the big news.
Yeah, the big news that
I'm sure everybody knows.
Yeah, all over the breaking news notifications to your phone. At least that's what happened with me. Albon is going to be taking over Gasly's
seat. Heart. Oh.
Malik is very upset about it.
Yeah, I'm a Gasly fan. I like him a lot. I like the guy. His character's good. He did like really well at Toro Rosso. Mm-hmm. And
he did well in Formula 2, right?
Yep, yeah. He was solid. Very good driver, but I guess that Red Bull just does not suit his driving style.
Yeah, there's been a lot of reports that he says the car's not set up for his driving style. So I don't know if that's really the case.
Yeah.
From everything we've reported on it a couple times that Red Bull has said they've tried everything they can to get him up to Max's level.
Yeah.
So
just doesn't suit him. He should follow Ricciardo's suit.
Yeah, I think
jump over to Renault, be like his next best shot. I mean, McLaren's not going to take him. Haas is definitely like Ferrari's not going to take him.
Yeah, I could see them dropping Hülkenberg and picking up Gasly.
Because I personally think he does need to jump out of the Red Bull. If the car doesn't suit him, then he's never going to... at this point, staying with Red Bull, he'll never be a world champion.
See, but how much is that an excuse, though?
Excuse? What do you mean an excuse?
For underperforming?
Well, no, I don't think it's an excuse because we know he's a good driver. Like, we know that he in that Toro Rosso, he put the Toro Rosso last season.
Yeah, he was great.
In places where it shouldn't have been. And in F2... solid driver. So it's not like it changed over a winter break.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's literally the car does not suit him. The Red Bull car doesn't suit him. The driving style just does not fit his driving style. Mm-hmm. And so Red Bull's not going to re-engineer a brand new car for him. You know, he's not, if he was like Lewis Hamilton or Michael Schumacher, then yeah, but they're not going to re-engineer a whole new car just so he can do better in it because they've got Verstappen winning in that car. So they know they have a winning car. So I think that he needs to, like, he might be able to do better in a Ferrari or Mercedes, but he'll never know because he's never going to take Vettel's place or Leclerc's place or Hamilton or Bottas. Like they've got too many people in their pipeline already. So he can't go for those two teams.
Yeah.
And if he can't stay at Red Bull, the next best option for him might be Renault, just like Ricciardo figured that Red Bull wasn't working for him anymore, and he jumped ship to the next best option. And so I feel like if Gasly wants a future in Formula One or not a future, he can have a future in Formula One staying with Toro Rosso, but if he wants a future at World Championships, then he probably needs to leave the Red Bull lineup because they switch drivers so much that it just he's on his way down. They don't really bring people back up. Kvyat is just a place filler for the season. It feels like because if he wasn't a place filler, then why didn't they give him the drive instead of Albon?
Yeah. What do you think about that? Like, do you think Kvyat has done better this season
than Albon
to make it in there? Because there was a lot of talk and a lot of controversy over Albon over Kvyat.
If you didn't know the history of Kvyat losing, I guess if you didn't know the history of Kvyat losing his seat to Verstappen, then it would have seemed more obvious of a selection to say that Kvyat goes to the Red Bull.
Yeah.
Because he's been in it before and he's an experienced Formula One driver versus you have a first-year rookie in a Formula One car coming into that vehicle.
Yeah.
So it is kind of weird they gave it to Albon, but at the same time, this is why I feel like Kvyat's just a placeholder. They do not have any intention of putting Kvyat
up.
Moving him up. They don't have faith in him anymore. Didn't he have 2 chances? Didn't he? Pretty sure he got demoted to Toro Rosso for Verstappen. I thought they brought him. No, maybe they didn't bring him back once. I thought he had another chance at some point, and then he lost it again. And so that's why I feel like they didn't give the drive to Kvyat. Otherwise, it would have been obvious to give it to him. But how I feel about Albon getting this drive is I feel afraid for his future.
Yeah,
because
this is kind of where I'm at. I'm kind of hesitant in his youth. I feel like Gasly's issue was maybe another year at Toro Rosso might have helped him a little bit or
tell that to Verstappen.
Edge. Well, that's true. Yeah, I guess you just blew that point out of the water. But I don't know. Yeah, Verstappen came up when he was younger. Albon.
He was the youngest, right? He didn't even have his driver license when he was driving for Toro Rosso, which is insane.
So, I mean, we'll see how Albon does. I think being first year in Formula One, I think going straight into that seat might be tough.
It is. Well, 100% it is. And Verstappen has done it, but Verstappen's an A-class driver. He is world champion material.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
As soon as once Hamilton's out of the way or has retired or moved on, then it's going to be...
It's Verstappen's shot.
Oh, yeah.
It's even close to his shot now. He's a few points from second place right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's, even Bottas has kind of got to watch his back from a Red Bull. Where is he at? Verstappen's 7 points behind Bottas right now. So Verstappen's knocking him in second place door, and
he's not far behind. Yeah. What are they like? And Bottas is 60-some points out of them, or 80 points?
Bottas is 62 points.
Yeah. So not too far behind.
Yeah.
I mean,
from Hamilton, that's pretty big ways halfway through the season.
What is there, like 8 races left?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I saw an interesting stat. I think it was put out by Formula One page. Mm-hmm. But this is, Hamilton's been saying like, oh, this feels like his best season start so far. When he was first saying that, I took that as Hamilton saying like, "Oh, these are the best fans at every race." Like he does every. So I thought no, like this is your best season so far. Like sure it is. It just feels that way. But this is actually statistically his best start to the season of his career. He has not won this many races in the first half of the season since he's been in Formula One.
Oh wow!
So that says a lot about how difficult it would be to overthrow him for the season right now. Is because his strongest half is the second half. He shows up even more, and now he's shown up in the first half. And as long as he can carry that momentum into the second half, then he's unstoppable, untouchable. I think he has 8 wins so far this year, and the next closest season he had season start he had was 6 wins in a season in the first half of a season. So it's quite literally Hamilton's best year.
Yeah.
He's on fire. So it's
going to be tough. I mean, Bottas or Max or even Leclerc or Vettel is going to have to get really lucky to even try to catch up.
Yeah, right now Vettel is in 4th place with 156. Verstappen in 3rd, 181. So Ferrari's kind of lagging behind.
Yeah.
The drivers at least are lagging behind in the points. And then the constructors, I think, Ferrari still got the lead there, or Mercedes has the lead, but Ferrari has 2nd place, and they're ahead of Red Bull by 40 points. So,
yeah, how do you think, since Max isn't in 3rd place, how do you think the rest of his season is going to go? Like, looking forward to Spa and not Monaco. What is it? The Italian GP.
Well,
Man.
I think that I feel like he has a chance. Obviously, with Italy and Spa coming around, Ferrari's going to seem hopefully
Maranello.
Dominate.
That's it. I got it. It finally came to me.
Monza is what you mean. Maranello.
That's where they make the Ferrari engines.
Did you just drop an F-bomb on a podcast? Come on, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, we might need to. Okay, we're gonna have to edit all that.
Monza. So, yeah, I mean, Ferrari's probably going to dominate there. They've got the power, but last year they didn't, right? Last year was, I think, Mercedes. They had a faster car last year too, right? They had the power. Mm-hmm. And last year it was.
So I think Max's little rise he's had the last 5 or 6 races as far as points. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of going to come to an end because at least for the next 2 races.
Yeah,
Spa,
they don't have the power.
Yeah, and they're just not made for those circuits.
Well, last year, Ferrari took a 1-2. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong. Where am I? I'm looking at the wrong thing. I am lost. That is what's happening. Oh, okay. We're good. Let me put a cut point at 16 minutes.
Did you get a cut point for the earlier one?
Yeah, 16-ish minutes.
Yeah. Hey, you're going to have to find that one.
I got to open up
Man, we're rusty.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's a little warm in here.
I think she cut off the AC.
She cold?
I think it's for baby. I don't know. That or just like the sound. Maybe she did it for us.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So last year for Spa, no, sorry, for Monza, Hamilton took the win. Oh, that's right. That's when Vettel hit, like, they had that kind of like issue where they were going around turn. Like, it was the second chicane, and Hamilton and Vettel came together.
Oh, okay.
Off of Vettel making a kind of a crazy move.
Yeah.
To a spot that was always going to close up.
Yeah, he tried to make something happen out of nothing.
Yeah. So Mercedes won that last year. And then for Spa, Hamilton lost by 11 seconds. So who knows? We'll see how it goes. I think Verstappen, I think I'd like to see him secure more points. I know it's unheard of for me supporting Verstappen in a small way, but he can get second place behind Hamilton. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
since Ricardo's out of the picture now, Verstappen can get second place. I don't like anyone else on the track. I mean, my drivers are Hamilton, Gasly, Ricardo, and not in any order, but Gasly, Ricardo. Verstappen's on my list of drivers that I like. He's just questionable at times. I don't know. Anyways,
I think if he came in second, I think that this season that's the best he can expect.
Oh, definitely.
And I'd be happy as a huge Verstappen fan.
Yeah. So,
should we actually talk about the race? We've talked about everything else but the last race.
16 minutes of talking about nothing but the race. Okay. Or nothing other than the race. Everything but the race. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, let's get into it. So, I was in the woods, so I didn't watch anything up until I got back and watched all the recordings.
Did you catch the practices as well?
Not the practices.
Yeah.
I mean, who's got that much time? I mean, maybe if watch them live or the day they happen.
Oh, yeah.
But, no, qualifying was good. Leclerc had a little bit of an incident in the Q1.
Oh, yeah.
After he had put in a pretty good time, enough to get in the Q2.
Yeah. Was it Q1 or was it practice? It was Q1 where he crashed?
Yeah, it was the first round of qualifying.
Oh, okay. That's right, yeah.
And then they had to switch out his rear wing.
Yeah. Surprised that he didn't destroy his car. He hit the wall pretty hard.
Yeah. So there was a lot of scrutiny over if he was going to need a new. That's not the gearbox, is it? Right there in the back of that little safety cone thing.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, then who else went out in Q1? Since you got the stats.
Oh, who lost out?
Yeah.
Well,
Leclerc didn't go out, but
yeah,
a little bit of drama.
Yeah,
spice things up.
So Q1 we had Russell, Perez, Ricardo, Stroll, and Kubica. So I think the two weird things there is Russell qualifying in 16th. That was awesome for Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, he put in a stellar time. He was 1.3 seconds ahead of Kubica. So pretty big gap there. And
Heck
then
yeah, that was awesome to see.
yeah. And the other weird thing is Ricardo qualifying at 18th
I don't think it's that weird.
as well. You think it's not that weird for Ricardo basically coming last?
Well, I mean, it sucks for Ricardo, but I mean, him being at Renault, like we were talking about earlier, and you were talking about drivers going to Renault has like their only option, but
they don't qualify that low.
I think Ricardo made a huge mistake going to Renault.
No, man. Well,
I think he would have done much better this season. Maybe
Yeah,
not as good as Max, but
with Ferrari struggling the way they are, it was probably a bad move.
I think he made a huge mistake.
Well,
But I mean,
it's
we'll
weird
see
that
how
he's
it
down
plays
there.
out.
It's weird that he's down there in 18th, and the reason being for him and Sergio Perez actually, or qualifying 17th and 18th, is that they ruined each other's laps,
Yep.
and it wasn't really either one of their faults. They were queued up, waiting to go, and they were going to miss the checker flag, or they felt like they were. So Ricardo tried to gun it to kind of start the lap, and Perez is like, "Nope, I got to start the lap," and they kind of messed up each other's line, and
Yeah, it
that
looked
was
like
that.
Ricardo was maybe the clock in his head was ticking a little bit faster than it actually was, and he thought he wasn't going to make the line.
Right.
And then he kind of tried to jump ahead of him, and Perez wasn't having any of it.
Yeah, because I think if they would have just waited, that would have been fine, right?
Yeah, I think they both would have been good.
Unfortunate, but good for Russell, because had they both qualified where they should have been, then Russell would have been down in 19th place. But Stroll also qualified down in 19th. So
I mean,
maybe
that's
Racing Point wasn't going to get anywhere this race.
That's the story of the season for
Williams?
Stroll.
Oh, for Stroll, yeah.
I think he's made it out of Q1 once this year.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so out in Q2, the qualifying positions we had was Hulkenberg, Albon, Kvyat, Giovinazzi, Magnussen. Yeah, and that's it. So
How far off of Magnussen, or not, Hulkenberg was Russel?
Russell was,
Because he was close to making it in the Q2.
Oh no, to make Magnussen, he would have had to beat Magnussen.
Okay,
so
Magnussen.
he was 9/10 off.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was.
So that's one mistake.
It was Hulkenberg. If Hulkenberg didn't make that lap, like just like Ricardo got kind of blocked out, if Hulkenberg wasn't able to do that hot lap or whatever and got trapped like Ricardo, then Russell would have been in Q2, which would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been great. He would have been super stoked.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hell, he was stoked for 16th.
Yeah. And then top 10, we had Verstappen getting his first pole position of his career.
Yeah, that was awesome to
in
see.
the Red Bull Honda.
Yeah.
Lots of fans cheering, lots of people going crazy, like, yeah, ooh, crazy, yeah. Red Bull's number one. So,
What'd you say? In a Honda, no less?
yeah, and a Honda, I mean, that had to have been great for Honda and their struggles.
Oh, dude.
Right?
I can't imagine.
Looks like Red Bull made the right decision dropping the Renault. Renault's at the back, Honda's at the front. So we had Verstappen getting pole position, followed by Bottas and Hamilton missing out on second place by about 0.2, looks like. But Bottas only missed out on pole position by 0.18 of a second.
Yeah, he was looking good. And, I mean, that's been all season. He's been taking the battle to Hamilton. At least fighting for pole positions.
Right, exactly. So Verstappen, Bottas, Hamilton, Leclerc, Vettel, Gasly qualifying in sixth place, with his teammate qualifying in first. And Gasly, what he's doing with that Red Bull, I think came into play a lot.
Yeah.
What happened during this specific race came into play a lot to why he lost his seat, because, yeah, if he was where he should have been, then Verstappen would have won the race.
Yeah. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. He doesn't need to be in second place, qualifying second.
Right.
But
He just needs to be close.
not in sixth.
Right,
You're at that level, you're pretty much the worst driver out there.
So that was top six, and then Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, Grosjean, and Raikkonen. So Haas getting up there in ninth, qualifying ninth, just behind the McLarens, which is solid. They beat out the Renaults, so. And then Norris and Carlos Sainz doing great again for McLaren, getting up there in seventh. I think Norris has qualified seventh quite a bit this season, or he's out qualified his teammate a lot this season. But Sainz has outfinished him he's got better race pace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. Yeah. McLaren's they're they're continuing their streak.
Yeah.
Of awesome qualifyings, and they're looking like the definite front runners for best of the rest.
Yeah, yeah. So that was the qualifying results. I guess next thing we talk about is the race, really.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Verstappen started on pole and kind of didn't really run away with it. Hamilton just kind of let him get a little bit of a gap, maybe like 2 or 3 seconds. I think he was trying to save his brakes, temperatures, things like that.
Bottas tried to put a little move on Hamilton right off the beginning, going into turn 1, locked up his brakes.
It was Hamilton that tried to put the move on because Bottas was second.
He was in third. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm not used to that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Super out of place. But, yeah, it was good to see Verstappen led the race for most of the race. He was solidly leading until...
There was one point where Hamilton tried to battle him early on.
Yeah.
And that was exciting to watch.
And that was after the first round of pit stops for...
Yeah, that was like lap 40 or so.
Something like that. And other than the end of the race and that small middle section, Verstappen was leading the race the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into that, though, some of the other battles that were going on was Kvyat and Albon had an awesome battle for a couple turns.
Yeah.
Showing the Haas boys how to do it, how it's done.
Yeah, how not to crash into each other.
Exactly, because they were wheel to wheel. They weren't giving an inch.
No.
And they were holding it around the outside or on the inside. It was great. That was great racing. It's good to see.
Yeah, that was exciting.
And Kvyat ended up winning out on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So
Albon had to go a little wide.
Yep. And then what else during the race did we see? So Lando Norris he lost out during some pit stops. He got held up, I think, I'm not sure who he got held up by, but he lost 2 positions in the pit stops because of that, because of all the people that were pitting at the time.
Yeah.
He ended up having to wait. So he went in ahead of
was it Hulkenberg?
Raikkonen and Hulkenberg, maybe.
Okay.
And then when he came out, he was behind those drivers, at least Raikkonen. I know Raikkonen for sure. I'm not sure about Hulkenberg, but
yeah.
It was unfortunate because he ended up finishing in that track position that he got. So I think if he would have been ahead, then he could have held that off, just like Carlos Sainz.
And finished 6th and 7th.
Yep. Well, Carlos Sainz finished 5th.
Oh, he did.
I think. Yeah. So did he? Come on, computer. I think Carlos Sainz finished 5th, and then Lando Norris came in like 9th place. So,
yeah. Then what was McLaren or not McLaren? Mercedes the only team to pit twice.
Verstappen pitted again. That's how he got the fastest lap. And then I'm not sure who else pitted twice, but I think most people did a 1 pit stop race unless there were some other issues.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like only Bottas, because Bottas got hit in the beginning, Hamilton, Stroll, and Verstappen all pitted twice. Everyone else pitted once.
Yeah. So about halfway, what was it, like 20 laps left?
Oh, when
Hamilton pitted?
Yeah, 21.
Yeah.
21 laps left.
Yeah. So they could see, didn't have the pace. There was no one in front of them. There was a little bit of a gap there. Why not go for the pit? Kind of get the undercut on him. I think there was a window for Verstappen to pit, but it was real like.
You talking about the pit stop for lap 21 or for the 21 laps left?
Yeah. So
no, not the undercut. You're talking about the first pit stop.
Yeah.
So the first pit stop rounds, it was Hamilton was running behind Verstappen, and both of them were waiting for one or the other to pit, because it was either Hamilton was going to pit first and get the undercut, or Verstappen was going to, pit first. And so what happened was Mercedes came out to pit Hamilton, and Hamilton decided to stay out. Mm-hmm. He just kept going around. I mean, they came out. I think they came out twice during his first pit stop. Okay. They came out twice, and Hamilton declined the pit stop. And eventually, after about 6 or 7 laps, Verstappen decided to pit and came out behind Leclerc in third place. And then once Leclerc pitted, he was in second and Hamilton was in first. And then Hamilton hit his pit stop. And it was then after that, it was around lap 21. So sometime in the 40 or 50 lap, that's when Hamilton attacked Verstappen, tried to at least, almost got him, but there were a couple of mistakes made on both drivers. And then backed off because he was just losing his tires. He wasn't going to be able to keep it up.
Yeah.
So what happened then was that Mercedes realized that there was no one behind them.
Yeah.
That the next closest car behind them was Leclerc, and he was like 39 seconds back. I think it was like a 21-second pit window.
Yeah, so with no one to hold him up
Yeah.
and the fresh tires, there was time to make up that pit stop.
So it wasn't like an overcut thing. It was just a free pit stop.
Well, I think my point was that Christian Horner had said that once Hamilton did that pit stop, they had like half a lap to a lap to make a decision if they wanted to pit or not.
Yeah.
To try to cut that off. And at that point, there was just nothing they could do.
Yeah. Because they were saying that even if they pitted, Hamilton would have come out ahead. And then...
Yeah, so they just need to go for it, yeah.
They would rather keep the track position than try to pass Hamilton.
Yeah. Yeah, because then you're just giving up a place for no reason.
Though, would Verstappen been able to pass Hamilton on track? Who knows?
Yeah.
Possibly. Maybe not. I mean, Mercedes is a powerful car.
Yeah, but at that point, they both would have had the same tires.
Yeah, they would have both had fresh tires, but...
No.
We saw what happened when Hamilton got close to Verstappen. He kept like a 2 to 3 second gap for a reason because the cars were overheating. I think it was a little hot in Hungary.
Yeah.
And so would that have been the issue that would have held Verstappen back from passing Hamilton?
Yeah.
Possibly. So they gambled and they went with leaving him out and holding track position. For a while, it did look like they were going to be able to make it to at least the last lap, and he just had to defend for a lap, some hard defending. But it ended up happening like 3 laps or 4 laps earlier than they expected, the pass at least. So anyways, Hamilton on fresh tires, got his fresh tires on, which he would not have been able to do if Ferrari or Gasly were where they should have been.
Yeah, if anyone was holding him up and he would have had to battle for a couple laps or a lap against them.
I mean, the pit stop wouldn't have been even a thought if there was somebody behind him, right? Because it's like, no, we can't pit. You'll lose places, so definitely not. But because Ferrari decided to only show up for half the weekend and then not show up for the race,
right? And they were really good in practice.
They were in practice and in qualifying. They got really close. And then Gasly decided to show his old colors again and not be great in the Red Bull.
Yeah.
End up where Hamilton had that gap to get that free pit stop and hunt down Verstappen with 21 laps to go on fresh mediums while Verstappen was on like 40 lap old hard tires. So
yeah, his tires were just trash by that point.
Yeah.
I mean, the call over the radio, you have 4 seconds of boost per lap, the last 4 laps, and didn't even there was no point in using that.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do.
That was the easiest pass ever.
Couldn't take any turns. He couldn't take turns at a good speed. So,
and then
it was unfortunate.
So, do you think Gasly's performance in this race is what pushed him over the edge of his lack of, if he was there to block Hamilton? Oh yeah, I think he'd still be in that seat right now.
I think he'd be in the seat.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have been lying before, but they did say that they were going to give him a whole year to get used to it. This isn't the first time that they needed their second driver.
Yeah,
in a prime position.
It is a team sport.
Exactly. So I think for sure, I think that's the reason they were like, you know what, it's done.
Yeah,
and I'm sad for it because I like Gasly, like I was saying earlier in the podcast. So
yeah, I agree 100%.
Poor Pierre.
Yeah. Better luck at Toro Rosso. Although he did great at Toro Rosso, so maybe that's just where he belongs.
Well, but we know Toro Rosso will never be a championship fighting car.
No, they won't.
Ever. Literally, ever. How many times has a B team been a championship fighting car?
I mean,
I don't know.
It's happened. I mean, so McLaren is technically a B team.
No, they're not.
I mean, as far as not being
B team
a
for who?
factory works team.
A B team for what do you mean? They're McLaren. They're a factory works team.
No,
Or
they get
don't have
their
like-
engines from they get their engines. I'm talking about not one of the engine manufacturers with these crazy budgets. I think Toro Rosso's budget is like half of what Red Bull's is.
But they're also owned by Red Bull. It's still Red Bull.
Well, yeah.
And Ferrari, their B team is Alfa Romeo. They're not owned by Ferrari, but that's where they send their drivers.
Yeah.
But Renault doesn't send their drivers to McLaren. McLaren
This
sends
is
their
true.
drivers to Renault.
This is
They are
true.
an A team.
Yeah.
They're not 100% not a B team. The only B teams there are
It's just Alfa Romeo and
I don't even think
Toro
it's-
Rosso, because I don't think Haas.
Alfa Romeo isn't technically a B team. They're their own team.
Well,
They're
same
just-
with Toro Rosso. I mean, they're like different factories, different.
No, but they're still owned
offices.
by. But they're still owned by Red Bull. It's Toro Rosso. It is.
Yeah.
It is literally Toro Rosso. It is literally Red Bull's second team.
Yeah.
But no other car manufacturer or no other team on the track is actually
Yeah,
a
'cause-
second team fielded by the same company.
I guess that's true. I mean, Alfa Romeo might, because they're a Ferrari like product, right?
Yeah.
The Alfa Romeo cars.
Oh, is it?
I think I'm pretty positive they're owned by Ferrari, but I
Oh,
think it
okay.
is.
Well, then they are a B team.
Well, I think it's Sauber. I think that Alfa Romeo might just be the title sponsor, because I mean it's technically the Sauber team.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean-
if Alfa Romeo is a Ferrari team, then yeah, they are 100% a B team. But I did not know that. I didn't know they were owned by that same conglomerate.
Yeah, but I guess you're absolutely right. But I don't know. It's kind of the same thing. They're set up. They're different factories. They don't like collaborate on. They just share drivers.
Who? Red Bull and Toro Rosso?
Yeah.
They collaborate.
I mean, they're not getting.
They get upgrades that
I'm
they,
sure they're
that
not
they
getting,
move towards that they move to the Red Bull cars.
Oh, you think really?
Yeah, they've done that. They'll like test things out on the Toro Rossos.
Yeah, I guess I've heard that before.
It's a slightly different car. It's a slightly different setup. Well, not slightly. It's a different setup, but it's a B team. It's literally Red Bull's B team.
Yeah.
Their drivers are all Red Bull drivers. They all can interchange without any issues. They can just be like, hey, next weekend you're here and you're here. No contract differences, nothing. Just
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Anyways, Gasly just doing
R.I.P.
terrible. Yeah, and I was saying earlier about why I'm afraid for Albon is because since he's a rookie, if he doesn't perform, Red Bull is probably the worst team to underperform with
Yeah,
because
they're
they have a
cutthroat.
history
Yeah.
of just being. Helmut Marko has a history of just being like, "You're out of here."
Yeah. Well, actually,
It's like a two strikes you're out thing.
Albon was cut by Toro Rosso, or not Toro Rosso, by Red Bull earlier in his career.
Really?
He was part of the development program, let go, and then brought back on by. I think he did well in F2 for a different team,
Oh, okay.
and then he was brought back on by
Nice.
Marco.
Well, then that means since Red Bull is a two-strike team, he's only got one strike.
Yeah. So
He's got one chance to make it right, and then it's
yeah, you better watch it or
That's
do
why
well.
That's
I
why
think
I'm
he's gonna
afraid
do
for his
well.
career. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he seems.
That's what everybody said about Pierre. So don't.
That's true. I mean, it could be the stress of that seat, or that, like, you're in one of the top three teams.
and it's next to a
But
class,
you-
A caliber driver.
Exactly. You look at Pierre Gasly on the track this year, like in his interviews and everything, and he is. You can tell he's on edge. And then
Yeah.
you look at Albon; he's super relaxed. I mean, I guess it could just be the different vibe, and the
Yeah.
stress level's not there. But he seems pretty calm, and he reminds me, like, he's just like Russell, like super chill.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And kind of knows what his plan is. I guess we'll see how he adjusts.
Hopefully, we'll just have to see how the rest of the season plays out.
Yeah.
Red Bull could implode also because they don't have anybody else in their pipeline at the moment.
No, they don't.
So
they're
they
pretty
could-
much tapped on drivers.
They could implode.
Yeah.
Their whole driver thing. It's in the process of imploding. Actually, this is why Kvyat is back in there, and probably why Albon got pulled up, and why Gasly went up and Ricardo left. Like their driver status is imploding. Their team's not imploding. Their driver lineup is
their pool of
is
drivers
just
to drop
crashing all around them, and they're like, "Oh my God, what are we gonna do? Let's bring this guy up. Okay, you're up. Nope, you're back down. You're up. You nope, back down. You up. You there. You there. No, you here. Craziness.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I'm so looking forward to Spa.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a good race, and you're gonna be in the Netherlands.
Yeah, I'll be in the Netherlands. I didn't make it out to Spa. I thought I was going to be able to, but
yeah,
not going to happen. But
Calvin's not a true F1 fan.
I know. Well, it doesn't sound like I am today. I've been making a lot of mistakes. Can't recall Monza.
Right.
And then
Maranello.
Yeah. Hey, I was kind of on the right track. That's Ferrari.
Right.
All right. Anyway, yeah, but we'll see. I'm super excited for.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking.
Got a whole month left.
Yeah.
To the end of this month, we'll be back. So that was really the end of the race. I mean, Hamilton took the W with ease when he got those new tires on. Verstappen took second place with a point for fastest lap as well because he pitted with like 3 laps left. He pitted for softs and would have had for that fastest lap time. Vettel passed Leclerc in the final laps as well to take third place. And then Leclerc, Sainz, Gasly in 6th. Raikkonen, Bottas finished in 8th. So we didn't really talk about Bottas, but real quick, he had a mishap during lap 1. He made contact with Leclerc and ended up getting his front wing kind of halfway ripped off, like the little section of it. So he ended up having to pit, I think on lap like 3, and he was at the back of the pack.
Yeah, he was kind of battling, trying to hold off Hamilton in turn 1, turn 2. And then Hamilton finally got around him, and that's when...
Yeah, and then Leclerc went for it as well.
Yeah, Leclerc. Yeah, he was definitely thrown off by Hamilton, so Leclerc saw an opening.
Can't defend against the champ, boy.
No. And I don't know, when Leclerc was passing him, it looked like he might have gone over, try to get in front of him a little bit too early.
Yeah, it was a little...
Yeah, it was a little bit of a dicey move. He could have ended up out of the race as well if he got a puncture.
Oh, definitely on his tire?
Yeah.
So, all right, that was top 6. And then Raikkonen, Bottas, Norris, Albon finishing 10th. Perez, Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Kvyat, Russell finishing in 16th. I think that's the highest finishing position as well for Williams. And then Lance Stroll, Antonio Giovinazzi, Robert Kubica in 19th, and Grosjean did not finish. So that was the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Yeah, it was good. Should we go over predictions real quick?
Oh, you want to?
I mean, we can skip them. I'm cool with that.
All right, so burrito bet predictions, and this is the halfway point of the season. I haven't tallied up all the...
It was a little foreshadowing of how well I did.
Haven't tallied up all the points from all the races, but for, what do we do? Driver of the day, you picked Verstappen.
Yeah, my boy.
And I picked Leclerc, so you got a point for that.
Heck yeah.
And then for best of the rest, you picked Lando Norris, who I normally go with.
That was close.
And because you picked Lando Norris, I decided to go with the other McLaren driver, Carlos Sainz, which means that I got a point for that.
Yep.
And then first DNF, it comes down to the first DNF.
Oh man,
you went with.
Who did you remember? Go with? I don't recall.
Calvin
think we should just throw that
Burbridge
one out. Yeah.
Went with Renault.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
And then let me guess. Who did you go with? It was. I
went with
Alfa
Mercedes.
Romeo, right?
No, I went with Haas. Ain't got that point. Grosjean, give me that. Give me that point. So I got the +1 on the burrito bet. I think this might either put us even or within a point of one another.
I think so. I think it's gonna be close. We'll find out on
the next podcast. You'll have to come back and find out who earned their burrito. So, that was predictions. Are we going to do predictions? No, we'll have to do a preview for...
Yeah, we'll do a preview for, I think, what?
For Spa.
Are we going to take 2 weeks off? Or? Yeah. So, I don't know. If any major news breaks, we might come in and do a short podcast or something.
We're going to wait. I got a baby. I ain't got time right now.
That's true, yeah.
Let him get to a month old.
Yeah, we'll let Malik get some sleep.
All right, so that's that. Thanks for joining us this weekend, guys. Again, sorry for it being 2 weeks late. Hopefully you still enjoyed. And we'll see you next time for the preview of the Belgium Grand Prix in Spa. And Follow us on Instagram, Starting Grid USA. Reach out to us on by email, startinggridusa@gmail.com. And that's that. Over and out.
Ciao, ciao.